Shalom. As always, first and foremost, I want to give all the praises and the glory and the honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Barakatha Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rikah Kodash. I would love to give double honors to our true teachers of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to our sincere brothers in all sincerity, pushing his truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives week in and week out to feed the lost sheep of Israel. And as always, shalom to the hopeful elect. I hope and pray, brothers, that you are chosen. I hope and pray to you, sisters, that you are chosen. And I hope and pray to you, children, that you are chosen. All the praises given to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rikah Kodash. The name of this video, I would like to call it, The Lord Delivered Us from That Temple Made with Hands. Now I'm going to say it again, and there's two key words in it. Well, the main key word is the Lord, right? First and foremost, the Lord delivered us. And when I say us, I'm talking about you and I, all of us, from that, the word that, temple made with hands. That temple. Remember, you've got two types of temples, you know. You've got the godly temple and you've got the ungodly temple. And what is the ungodly temple? I'll read it, Lord willing. Acts 7 verse 48 to 49. Howbeit, the Most High, Yahawah Basham Yahshai, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will he build me? Saith the Lord. Or what is the place of my rest? Now, we all know 100%, we are sure, where is the real resting place? I tell you what, it's not going to be in the temples made with hands, right? Because those temples made with hands is nothing but hypocrisy, is nothing but lies, is nothing but vainglory, yeah? Is nothing but deceit. The Lord delivered us from that temple made with hands. Barakatha Yahawah Basham Yahshai Basham Rikah Kodash. The word of Yahawah Basham Yahawashi Basham Rikah Kodash. Now the Lord has delivered us out of many things. The Lord delivered me yesterday. A couple of days ago, the Lord delivered me. A couple of weeks ago, the Lord delivered me out of something. We must always give the glory and the praises to our Heavenly Father, Yahawah Basham Yahshai, through the holy angels. Because you remember, you got spirits that are created to do good and evil. But you know, can I ask a question to you, brothers and sisters, right? I'd ask this question in sincerity. When is the last time, hear this now, Baba Kasha, please, I ask this in sincerity. When is the last time you said thank you to Yahawah Basham Yahshai for delivering me from out of these churches? The church, yes, the church that is made with hands. When is the last time you said to the Lord, Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, if you've had already, if not, why not? Have you ever said, thank you, Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, for delivering me out of these churches, out of the church? I used to church hop to many hundreds of different churches. Some brothers might be in one church for 10 years, 15 years. Now there's a brother in our camp. His name is Arya. Now that brother, he used to talk about every camp. He's always talking about in the Christian church, in the Christian church. He always keeps on talking about the church. Now some people might be listening to that now. Some people, we don't know who, may listen to that and say, why does he keep on talking about the church? Come on, get off that now. But you know what? I felt his spirit. You know why I felt his spirit? Because it was pure wickedness. And I know why from day one he kept on talking about the Christian church. My brothers know what I'm talking about. Yeah? The brothers in my camp, they know who I'm speaking about. Yeah? But for anybody else listening, they might think, why does he keep on talking about the Christian church? Because it's all fucking satanic. That grabs onto you. And every single one of us that is woken up in this truth that the Lord has called, we hope to be chosen. Every single one of us that is being called or being woken up to this truth, we all have a testimony or testimonies about the Christian church. Because we all were once in the church. Have you ever sat back and said, you know what? Lord, thank you, Thawada, for removing me away from these cults, these churches, these hypocrites. If not, brothers, sisters, or children, in your prayers, do it straight away. But I know that the Lord has delivered us out of 101 different things. But I just want to talk in the spirit. Have you really said to the Lord, you know what, dear Lord, if you let me stay in that church for any longer, I don't know where I'll be today. Because being in a church, you are strongly deluded. And the Lord did that. And there's always time to get out. But you have the year 2023. You know that all these prophecies are coming to be fulfilled, Lord willing, this year. If you're still in the churches and you listen to this message and you still do not take heed, it's the Lord that does it, that did it. Right? So I know what my beloved brother Arya kept on going on about the church, the Christian church. And he was in one of the wickedest churches, the Jehovah's Witness. All of them are wicked, but that one is a wicked one. And I tell you what, to back it up, I think Elder Pastor Hall said years ago, he said one of the worst churches is the Jehovah's Witness church. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Please, Baba Kasha. But he said that years ago. Right? So I know what my brother's talking about. Because there's so much wickedness. And he said he saw things that used to go on. That's years before coming into the truth. Years before. He saw the wickedness that was going on. He said even at that time, he used to correct people. Because you know what? The Lord delivered him out of that situation. The Lord delivered all of us out of the churches. Thank you, Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. The things I used to do in churches, and I look back and I say, Brack of the Yahawah, Thawada, forget me from that. Yeah? Now I'm going to tell you about this vainglory. Because churches, a list of them. We say 101 things about these churches. All right. I try not to, prolong this video. All right, because I tell you what, I've experienced some things like you all, brothers and sisters. The things that I experienced in my life, man, I could just keep on talking and talking and talking and talking. Every type of situation. And like we all say, you don't become a real man until you wake up to this truth. But listen, the things that you've been through in life plays a very, very important part to being in this truth. All right? Very important part. Right? So let me give you a little testimony to prove how these churches are just all about vainglory, money grabbing. Yeah? There was a time, I'm going to be honest, I was a dirty man. I'll be honest with you. I was dirty at one stage with the women. I've been with so much women, all right? And it's not about showing off. I said this, keep saying I'm not showing off. I'm just telling you. I've been with so many women that I can't even imagine. I can't just remember who and who. But you know what the point is? That I was still unhappy, very, very unhappy. Very unhappy. I wanted to find a woman that served the Lord. And anyway, to cut it down, yeah, I couldn't stand being with 6, 7, 8 women at one time. I couldn't stand. I got fed up with it. I was looking for love. So I'm thinking now, I'm going to go about, this is about, okay, let me tell you before that. I think it's about in 1990, when I used to go to church. 1990, I met this woman from Panama. Man, this is the most, wow, she was a beautiful woman from Panama. And I'll be honest with you, I think that's what messed me up, because I fucked up basically. Yeah? I messed up because of other women. This woman is everything's of the Lord anyway. This woman is a beautiful woman. And this woman in the church chose this woman for me. And this woman fell in love with me. I fell in love with this woman. And within about a month, I fucked up. Sorry to swear. I fucked up. I said it again. I messed up. And I'm not sure if that's a thing in my head now. And then after that, years after, I kept on going and then went around like a madman again with women, like a mad man on heat, like a rabbit on heat. Women after women after women. I was fed up. I said, I want a woman from the church. So what I did, I started church hop. I went to about over 50 different churches over the years. Different churches. Trying to look for a woman. So anyway, fast forward now. Years later. I remember I changed career. And I became an engineer. Now, to fast forward it now, I was church hopping, going to a lot of churches looking for a woman. I couldn't find a woman. Not knowing, that the church women are the worst women to deal with. All right? And because you're not going to get the truth from in the church anyway. So that's even double whammy. Right? Brakatha Yahawah Sham Yashai. So listen now. I'm so excited. I'm getting excited. I might get confused. Because this is it's so spiritual, brothers, sisters. Anyway, I went to this man's house, right? This man's house to work on he had a problem at home, right? Because I was an engineer. Knocked on his door, and it's a so-called white man. Yeah? This is in England now. So-called white man opened the door. So I didn't know who this man was. And we started to talk. This man started to get close to me for some reason. Then apparently he told me he was a pastor. He owns a church. So anyway, I'm putting 2 and 2 together now. I'm thinking, yes. You know what? Let me ask this man straight up. So we got talking, and I told him I go to church. I told him which church I go to, right? He knows the job I'm doing. So you know what they like for Philly Lucra? He's going to think, let me try to get this man into my church. right? Because he knows I'm going to be paying my tithes or paying my, what's it called again? You know the word. Oh, it will come back to me in a second, Lord willing. He knows I'm going to be paying money into the pot, into the kitty. So anyway, we got talking and talking. And I said, oh, good, he's a pastor. I said to him, I straight up, I started to talk about certain things about the church, and I told him where I went to. And he knows of that church, right? But his church is a big church too, very big church. So I said to him straight up, I says, I'll be honest, I want to settle down. I came straight with him. I want to settle down. I've been going to church for many, many years. And you could tell that the way I spoke, that I was really into church, and I was, and sincerely, yeah. And I said to him, really and truly, I'm looking for a wife. Do you know of any single women in your church? I asked him straight. And he goes, oh, yes, we've got some women in the church, right? So this is the way how he got in now. So he started telling me he knew about this one girl that he loves her like a daughter. Anyway, to fast forward, I got excited, right? It could have been like a Monday or Tuesday. That same Sunday, I went to visit his church. The same Sunday. Now, when I went into this church, it was so big. There's hundreds of people in the church. Hundreds. I can't even count. Right? I was lost. I came into that church. Right? Looking left and right. First thing I do is looking for all the women in that church. Right? Because I'll be honest with you, I wanted to settle down with a church woman. All right? So when he started to speak now, I didn't know how he saw me, right? Then he started to change the subject. He goes, well, I met this man the other day. and I said, oh, shit. I hope you're not talking about me. I hope you're not talking about me, right? So let's say my name is Peter. I'm not going to tell him my real name, right? Brothers know my real name, but I'm not going to put it out there. Let's say my name is Peter. So he's saying now, and this man, this pastor, he was married. He was married to a so-called black woman. I think he's from Jamaica. Yeah, I think she's from Jamaica. So straight away I started to open up to him because, oh, this man must be a cool guy. He must be an all right man. Anyway, so when it was time for him to speak, he spoke about 10 minutes and then he said, anyway, I met this lovely man the other day. And I said, oh, shit. Here we go. Please don't do this. Don't do it. Then he said that, oh, this man came into my property. He's a very important man, right? I want you to greet this man. I want you to greet him and look up to him. And I said, fuck, what are you doing? What are you doing? Then he went on about 10 minutes how this man went to his house. And he came, he's an engineer. He said the job I did and everything. And he says, oh, and he's a very important man. Okay. And what he said is so many things. This how many years ago? This could have been, let me see. About 16 years ago, 15, 16 years ago. Yeah, about 16 years ago. And he said, this man here, his name is Peter. For a matter of fact, Peter, could you stand, please? Listen, I turned red. Can you stand, please? Right? Do you know this man let me stand there for about 10 minutes and he kept on speaking about me, lifting me up, praising me, and I felt like fucking shit. Now, people would have glorified in that. All the people that were sitting around me, nobody wasn't looking at me. When I came in, nobody knew me. But as soon as he said to stand up and look at this man, he called my name, he said what job I did. Yes? He said some other things that was embarrassing. And all the eyes, it could have been about 500 to 1,000 eyes on me, staring at me. And I was so embarrassed. I felt dirty, right? It did not feel pleasant. It did not feel pleasant. Then he says, anyway, everybody give Peter a round of applause and please greet him. Please greet him. And then clap, yeah, clapping. Now listen, I tell you what, I'll say this again. You see that vainglory thing? whoever is going to suck up that kind of praise, you've got a heavy spirit on you that you need to get rid of, that vainglory. And I'm using this as an example because this is what the churches are like. They're all hypocrites. They're all hypocrites in many ways. And this is why I'm saying it's going back to the same thing again in the beginning. That the Lord delivered us from that temple made with hands. You see what I'm saying? So everybody's clapping and looking at me, and the clapping went on for about 10 minutes. And I was stood there. And I felt like shit. It felt like the most. So anyway, when I sat down now, everybody kept on staring at me. The man beside me, he was rubbing shoulders with me. He goes, "Hi, sir, how are you? How are you?" And he shook my hand and everything. And I said, "Fuck off." No, Salakia. When I look back at it now, it is the most disgusting feeling ever. Yeah? And when the church finished now, everybody's coming to greet me and say, "Hello, how are you doing?" and blah, blah, blah. Yeah? And it doesn't feel pleasant. It's not a nice feeling. Some brothers might like it. Some sisters might like it. Some children may like it. But not all's going to like it. And that was years before coming into the truth. Okay? That was years before. So there's many times I sit down or I'm walking or doing anything, laying down, and my mind wanders about the things that the Lord has done for me. Yes, me. The things that the Lord has done for you. The Lord that is done for us. The things that the Lord, we could talk about the stories. Yes? But you see, everything, man's going is of the Lord. Man's going. I could tell you some more stories what I did going from church to church, what I experienced. And you have to say, "Lord, Brakatha Yahawah Ba'asham Yahawashi for delivering me out of these churches." That's why I'm reminding you, brothers and sisters and children, in your prayers, thank the Lord for delivering me. Because that is the most witchcraft, brainwashed place to be in. Yay, that is, wow, can you hear what I'm saying? So, going back to my brother, I know why he kept on talking about the Christian church. Yeah? I know why. And Brother Arya, he's a man of age too, and he's been around. And he knows. He knows. Let's go to Psalms 50, verse 15. "And call upon me." Now, in the churches, you're not going to know the name of the Lord in the church. You're not going to know the names Yahawah, Ba'asham Yahawashi. You're not going to know those names in the temples made with hands. You're not going to know those names, are you? And this is why we give double honors to our apostles of Great Men Stone, because the things that we've learned, yeah? Now, the other day I said something in one of my videos. I said, and even at my low position in this truth, yeah? Because I'm telling you, I don't consider myself as a prophet or a teacher. I don't, right? That's why I want all my brothers to be above me. Because I learn from my brothers. Yeah? And I said something that Elder Pastor Hall said, being in GMS, in 1 month, you could cut any pastor. Now, I know I could cut a pastor in my lower state. And I don't mean in terms of the scriptures, because I'm not a man knowing the scriptures inside out. But when it comes to John 3:16, yes, when it talks about the deliverance through the chariots, you never hear those things in churches, right? The name of the Lord, they might call it Yahweh or Yahawashi. They might call in those names, and they still don't know it. They don't know about reincarnation. Simple things like that. You could cut a Christian, you could cut the pastor with just the basic John 3:16. That's what I meant. You see how powerful it is? Think about it, right? That's powerful. Listen now. And call upon me in the day of trouble. And that's coming. That day of trouble, you have to say, Yahawah, help me. This is why when we praying, we always pray to the Lord, Yahawah, because we say, thank you for getting me out. How you delivered me out of 101 things. And including deliver me out of the churches. Yeah? I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. Listen to me. How many times has the Lord delivered you, brothers and sisters? How many times? Countless times that you don't even know. The amount of times the Lord has delivered me, I won't lie to you. I tell you before, right? There's a amount of times that the Lord is about to put me to death, and the Lord just grabbed me when those deaf demons ready to grab you. I've been through that many times, the deaf demons, and the Lord delivered me. When I wake up, I can't believe. I said, Lord, am I still here? That's not even that alone. I could tell you 1,000 stories how the Lord has delivered me, right? Fuck that! You said, I'm fucking great. Anybody's with that fucking proud, vainglory, yeah, in his truth? Yeah? The Lord is watching things, you know. The Lord is watching. Right? Because if you know sincerely the Lord has delivered you, you would fucking bomberclot humble yourself. I'm talking about every single man in this truth. Yeah? You watch. A lot of spiritual things are going to come out. You hear? The beloved brother Elder Manat Zakba, he did a video. He did a video recently. All right? He did a video. It's a spiritual video. I'm telling you. Very spiritual. The Lord he works in a 360 degrees. Do not think that the Lord works in 90 degrees. Oh, a little bit there, a little bit there. The Lord works in full circle. When the Lord brings out certain things, there's other things involved that he wants people to know. Yeah? For the high, for the low, he wants everybody to know. You hear? Do not think too much deep into it. What I'm saying, go back again and thank the Lord. Have we forgotten to thank the Lord for delivering us out of the churches? Yeah? You see how simple that is? But it's a major thing to deliver you out of the church. Because that means a lot. Because it's witchcraft, it grabs you. Now that man there, I forgot to mention this. That man, right? Donation! Brakatha Yahawah Basham Yahushai Basham Rakakadash. He said, the Lord, bring it back in his spirit. That man was sweetening me up to keep me sweet because he knows the money I was earning, I'm going to be putting money in the congregation, in the box, the kitty, in the donation box, in the tithes box. He knew the money I'm going to be giving. So he was using me too. He was grabbing me. So that's an extra man. Brakatha Yahawah Basham Yahushai. Right, I bring up this one. Right? Psalms 91 verse 3 to 5. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the nonsense pestilence. Right? He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Right? Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Now I'm going to close on that in the name of Yahawah, Basham Yahushai, Basham Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles of Great Male Zone and Baba Kasha. Love to you, brothers and sisters and children, in sincerity. And remember in your prayers to say, Thawada, for deliver me, Lord, Yahawah Basham Yahushai, from these churches. Shalom.